The car ride back to Kemi's apartment was silent. Yemi stared out the window, her thoughts tangled in knots. Morayo's words echoed in her head. True power is not in telling people what you have. It's in making them fear what they don't know. Yemi clenched her jaw. No, she wasn't going to let Morayo control her like this. She needed to find out the truth. We need a plan. Yemi exhaled, her fingers drumming against her lap. I need to talk to my dad. Kemi turned to her, frowning. Are you sure that's a good idea? Yemi hesitated. Was it? Would her father even tell her the truth? Still, she had no other option. He's the only one who can confirm what Morayo has on him, Yemi said firmly. I have to try. Kemi studied her for a moment before nodding. All right, but be careful. If your dad has been hiding something this big, he might not take it well. Yemi nodded. She already knew this conversation was going to change everything. Maybe even destroy her relationship with her father forever. But she had no choice. She had to know. Yemi pulled up to her father's house later that evening, her heart pounding in her chest. She found him in his study, seated behind his massive oak desk, going through a stack of documents. When he saw her, he smiled warmly. Ah, my princess, what brings you here so late? Yemi hesitated at the doorway. Her father had always been a strong man, a respected judge, a leader, a man known for his integrity. But what if it was all a lie? She swallowed hard and stepped inside. Daddy, I need to ask you something. He set his pen down, giving her his full attention. Of course. What is it? Yemi took a deep breath. Is there something you're hiding? Something Morayo could use against you? Her father's smile faltered. For the first time, a shadow passed through his eyes. Yemi's stomach twisted. She knew that look. It was fear. He leaned back in his chair, folding his hands together. Where is this coming from? Yemi's hands clenched into fists. Morayo threatened me, Dad. She said if I cancel the wedding, she'll expose something about you. Something that would ruin you. Silence. Her father's face remained calm, but his fingers twitched slightly. Yemi took a step closer. What is she talking about? Still, he said nothing. Dad, a voice cracked. I need to know the truth. Her father inhaled deeply, closing his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, he looked tired, as if he had been carrying a burden for far too long. Then finally he spoke. There are things in the past, Yemi, things that should never be dug up. Yemi's breath itched. That was not a denial. Her chest tightened. So it's true? You did something? Her father's jaw tightened. I did what I had to do. Yemi felt cold all over. Whatever this secret was, it was real. Her father suddenly stood up, his expression hard. Listen to me, Yemi. Forget about this. Forget what Morayo said. Marry Tunde and move on with your life. Yemi stepped back, her heart pounding. You're asking me to marry a man whose mother... Enough! Her father's voice boomed through the room. Yemi flinched. She had never seen him like this before. But that single outburst confirmed everything. Her father was guilty of something big, and Morayo knew. She felt like the walls were closing in on her. How had her life turned into this nightmare? Her father's voice softened. Please, Yemi, don't go looking for things that will only bring you pain. Yemi stared at him, feeling the deepest betrayal. How could he ask her to sacrifice herself for his secret? She didn't say another word. She simply turned and walked out of his study. As she stepped into the cold night air, only one thought ran through her mind. She couldn't marry Tunde. But if she walked away, her father's entire world would crumble. Yemi barely made it back to her car before she let out a shaky breath. Her father's reaction had confirmed everything. There was a dark secret. And Morayo wasn't bluffing. Her hands trembled as she gripped the steering wheel. She couldn't marry Tunde. She knew that now. But if she walked away, her father's world would come crashing down. How could she protect herself and him? Her mind spun, desperate for answers. Then suddenly, her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen. Tunde. Her stomach tightened. She hadn't spoken to him since that night. Since she saw them. For a moment, she considered ignoring it. But something told her he knew. Slowly, she swiped to answer. She hesitated before speaking. Hello? A pause. Then his deep voice came through the line. We need to talk. Yemi swallowed. About what? You already know. Her breath caught, so he knew that she saw them. Her grip on the phone tightened. I have nothing to say to you, Tunde. I think you do, he said, his voice eerily calm. I'm coming over. Before she could protest, he ended the call. Yemi stared at her screen, her heart pounding. Tunde was coming, and for the first time, she realized. She didn't just need to uncover his mother's secrets. She needed to uncover his. 20 minutes later, there was a knock on Kemi's apartment door. Yemi stood frozen in the living room. Kemi glanced at her. Are you ready for this? Number she wasn't, but she nodded anyway. Kemi opened the door, and there he was. Tunde, tall, handsome, as controlled as ever. But Yemi saw it now, the darkness underneath. Tunde's eyes flicked to Kemi. Can we have a moment? Kemi folded her arms. Anything you have to say, you can say in front of me. A muscle twitched in Tunde's jaw, but he didn't argue. Instead, he turned to Yemi, his gaze intense. You saw us. Yemi's chest tightened. No games, no pretending. He was confronting it directly. Yemi forced herself to meet his gaze. Yes, I saw you. Silence. Then, he sighed and ran a hand over his face. Yemi, it's not what you think. Her stomach churned. Then tell me what it is, Tunde. A flicker of something crossed his face. Hesitation. He was hiding something. She could feel it. He took a step closer. I love you, Yemi. That hasn't changed. She flinched at his words. Don't say that to me. It's the truth. She shook her head. You have been lying to me from the start. You and your mother. This isn't about my mother. He cut in sharply. Yemi froze. Kemi narrowed her eyes. Then what is it about? Tunde's jaw clenched. It's complicated. Yemi let out a bitter laugh. Complicated. Tunde, I saw you two together. I know something is going on. Tunde inhaled deeply, as if trying to control himself. Then softly he said, If I tell you the truth, will you still love me? The room went dead silent. Yemi's breath caught. His voice, his expression, the fear in his eyes. For the first time, she realized this wasn't just about Morayo. Tunde had his own secret. And whatever it was something he was terrified to say out loud. Yemi's pulse pounded in her ears. Did she even want to know? She wasn't sure if she was ready for this, but she had no choice. Tunde looked down for a moment, exhaling slowly. When he looked up again, his face was unreadable. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, he said, My mother is not who you think she is. Yemi swallowed hard. What do you mean? Tunde ran a hand over his face, like he was trying to find the right words. Kemi folded her arms, watching him closely. Just say it. Tunde hesitated. Then, Morayo is not just my mother. She's my lover. The words crashed into Yemi like a violent storm. She stumbled back, shaking her head. No, no. This couldn't be real. Tunde's voice was hoarse. It started when I was 16. Yemi felt sick. He kept talking, his words heavy. She manipulated me, controlled me. And by the time I understood what was happening, it was too late. I tried to break free, but she wouldn't let me go. She still won't. Yemi's vision blurred. Her breathing became shallow. She had suspected something twisted was happening, but hearing him say it, confirm it, was too much. She turned away, covering her mouth, trying not to scream. Tunde stepped closer. Yemi, I swear, I never wanted this life. I love you. I want to be free. She turned to him, rage boiling in her chest. Then why didn't you tell me sooner? Why did you let me fall for you? Tunde's voice cracked. Because I thought you could save me. Silence. Raw. Painful. Yemi stared at him, her mind spinning. This man, the man she was supposed to marry, was trapped in something monstrous. Kemi finally spoke, her voice low and sharp. Who else knows about this? Tunde swallowed hard, his gaze flickering between them. No one, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. No one except you two. And Morayo. Yemi's breath hitched. So you're telling me, Kemi said slowly, that for years you've been carrying this alone? Tunde gave a bitter laugh. Did I have a choice? Yemi's stomach twisted. All these years, Tunde had been trapped in something so dark, so unspeakable, and he had been alone. But she had also seen how he looked at Morayo that night, how his hands had moved over her body. Her throat tightened. Tunde, are you sure you want to leave her? His eyes flashed with something, fear. Of course I do, he said quickly. I love you, Yemi. I want a future with you. Kemi scoffed. That's not what she asked. Tunde's jaw clenched. A thick silence filled the room. For the first time, Yemi wasn't sure if Tunde could leave, or worse, if he really wanted to. A cold chill ran down her spine. Was he still under Morayo's control? Yemi's voice was barely a whisper. If we help you leave, will you actually go through with it? Tunde's hands curled into fists. I don't know how to escape her, he admitted, his voice shaking. She's everywhere. She has power, influence. If I try to run, she'll find me. If I expose her, she'll destroy me. Yemi's heart pounded, and suddenly she understood. This wasn't just about a twisted relationship. Morayo had built a cage around Tunde. She controlled his mind, his body, his life, and unless they were careful, she would make sure he never left. Yemi felt something dark settle in her chest. She turned to Kemi. They didn't just need to help Tunde escape. They needed to take Morayo down.